beginning to shape up. The Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs are both 11-3, and both have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Welcome once again. The fans out here are draped in silver and black. They are loud, they are proud, and they're definitely faithful. Unfortunately, they did not get the outcome that they wanted tonight. Once again, your final is 56-31. I'm Henry Wolford along with our two analysts, Bill Romanowski and Lorenzo Neal. Guys, there's no way to sugarcoat this. We got to get right to the point. What happened to the Oakland Raiders today, and has this team regressed?
They absolutely have regressed, and what happened to them is they got their asses kicked badly. It was embarrassing today. Embarrassing on offense, embarrassing on defense, embarrassing on special teams. I tell you what, as a Raider, former Raider, as a Raider fan, as an analyst, I tell you what, something needs to happen.
And when you say something needs to happen, Bill Romanowski, what are you suggesting?
I don't know, but I tell you what, something serious has got to happen because this was embarrassing. It's embarrassing to these fans, embarrassing to the Raider nation.
Yeah, I'm listening to Bill, and in my 17-year career, I have not witnessed anything like this, where you have fans that are so loyal, and they come out in thousands to come support a team, and to perform like they performed today, giving up 56 points, the most in Raiders history. They gave up 55 to Dan Fouts. But today, to come out here and to play the way they played, offensively, special teams, defense, coaching, everything. They got out coached. They got out hit. It was physical. This was a absolute meltdown. You don't let a screenplay go for 30 and 40 yards three times. You adjust. You can't be playing soft zone. I don't have a play for 3rd and 19. Coaches don't have a play for 3rd and 19. All Kansas City Chief was doing, they said, we know we want to get back in field goal range. We're going to run a screenplay, pick up 10 to 15 yards, and hope to kick a field goal. Instead, it goes for 30 yards for a touchdown. There's no excuse for that in the National Football League. That's horrible play all the way around.
Both of you guys say it was embarrassing. I want a name. Who's accountable for this loss?
I tell you, ultimately, you know, you're looking at Dennis Allen. He has to hold himself responsible for how his team performed today, which was not very good. He's got to hold all his coaching staff. Reggie McKenzie has got to hold Dennis Allen accountable, and Mark Davis has got to hold Reggie and everyone accountable for this loss.
No question. When you look at the National Football League and you see all the parity that's in the league, and you go down and you say, okay, last year we won 4 games. This year we're probably going to only win 4 games because the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos are, got to play both those two teams, one at home and the other on the road. And right now the San Diego Chargers is one of the hottest teams in the NFL. And then you got to play the Denver Broncos, who lost last week, so they're going to be physical too. So I'm looking at this team right now, and there's not a game that you can see if they're going to win. And the players are quitting. The players aren't tackling. See, I understand you can get by on effort, but sometimes when you're not tackling, you're not doing the small things right. It's inexcusable, and that's what I saw today. I didn't see just a team get out coached. I saw men quit. I saw men fall on the ground. I saw a guy, Woodson, an older player, the older dinosaur out there, going out there with a hurt rib, still trying to muster up some type of energy to get this thing going. But he was ugly. And it's no excuse for that type of play for 4 quarters. And even at halftime, you had a chance to get back in this game because of a penalty. And you still throw it away. Down by 4 in the 3rd quarter. Had a chance.
Well, that's a very major statement that you just made. If you had to give me a number of how many players, in your opinion, quit out on that field, how many guys, Lo?
I just saw it collectively. I saw special teams take turns making mistakes. You have a chance, you're down by 4. You fumble the ball on kickoff return. Turning point in the game, another turning point in the game. I saw McGloin had a wide open Marcel Reese in the first quarter that instead of turned into 7 points, it ended up turning into 3 points, a field goal. Wide open. No one's in his face. No pressure. Nothing. I saw McGowan again in the second quarter. A bad snap. Instead of just falling on it, he tried to pick it up. He made a bad play worse. I saw a defense on 3rd and 18 give up a screen pass that go to the house, made it 3rd and 18. They give up a touchdown, 30 yards. I saw in the same quarter another screen that goes for a touchdown. I saw a team sit back and play zone against the screen. I can't accept this as an analyst, as a former player. I know when I see what I see. And when I call plays, when you see the safety back there playing zone, and you see the safety drive on balls because they're playing zone, and McGowan goes right to the receiver, should have been 2 interceptions for a touchdown. Only one. And the other one ended up turned into a touchdown for the Raiders because the guy took his helmet off. You can't do that. You throw the ball deep when it's a press coverage like that. That means you got man-to-man outside. You know the safety's coming down the route. I know this. How can I look up there and see what's going on before the play even transpires?
So, were you frustrated watching this game?
Frustrated? Oh my God, beyond frustrated. But your question was, how many guys quit? To me, this team is responsible. The entire team, to me, quit. And that to me, it hurts my heart, hurts my soul. It really does. And that is inexcusable. And I tell you what, there's something has to be done, and it's drastic. I tell you what, Dennis Allen ought to be throwing chairs in that locker room. Ought to be mother effing people. He ought to be going crazy right now because that's one of the most embarrassing games I've ever watched in my life.
Ever. Wow, Bill Romanowski, give me your headline for this game.
It's prior time. It is prior time. It is prior time. It is time for Terrell Pryor to take over. I saw enough of Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin needs to hold a clipboard for the rest of his career.
Why do you say that?
Because he's a backup. I can see it in his eyes. I see it in his play. Terrell Pryor is a guy that can give this team a chance. Okay? He showed us spark. He showed us that he has what it takes early in this season, and for some reason, he got benched. And I tell you what, I have a lot of trouble with that, Lo.
Yeah, and I think when I look at Bill, when I think about what Bill's saying, when you watch McGowan, ever since he's taken over the starting job, he's shown some great flashes that he can play in the National Football League. And Bill's not saying this young man doesn't belong in the league. He's saying right now this guy is a backup. When you watch the Tennessee Titans, every single game he played against, except the Houston Texans, which is a bad team that lost again today, hadn't won a game like we said they wouldn't. Besides that team, he's thrown an interception in every single game. Today was a record career day for him interception. So I have to look at just your body of work. So the body of work that McGowan's done, it's merited him to be on the bench. It's merited him to be a backup for the remainder of the year. He's only won one game. I'm looking at it, it's just facts. I'm not trying to badmouth anyone. And I know these young men have a job to do. And I'm not trying to say that they quit. I'm saying that everyone took turns quitting today. And when I'm saying that everyone quit, when you ask me to turn out who all quit, I can't do that because I don't know each of these men heart. I know that Jennings, Marcel Reese, I saw those guys the way they played. I know that they didn't quit. I know that Woodson didn't quit. Certain guys did not quit on this team, but I'm saying collectively, special teams, offense, coaching staff, they laid a goose egg today, and there's no place like for that in the National Football League, especially when you're grown men playing a kid's game, getting a king's ransom.
Both of you said Matt McGloin is clearly a backup. I want your gut feeling. If he's clearly a backup, then why is Dennis Allen starting him over Terrell Pryor?
I'm perplexed. I don't know, and I wish I did. I wish I got the answer, Henry, but I didn't get the answer. Nobody got the answer. Matt McGloin has regressed as a quarterback since he has taken over the reins. And guess what? This team is not good enough to recover from the mistakes that he has made in these games to try to win them. They're not good enough to recover from them. 4 interceptions today. And guess what? There should have been 6.
No question.
There were two other plays that clearly should have been intercepted.
And to answer your question, why isn't Pirate playing? I think it goes back a couple weeks ago when Pirate came on stage and he said, you know what? I was injured. I went out there on a bad knee. Once a quarterback or a player calls out his coach in the organization and say that I was injured, that coach and that staff said, I can no longer trust you. I think that coach took it personal. I think that he said, if you're going to call me out and throw me on the bus, you know what? I'm going to do the same to you. You're going to have to earn my respect once again. So I understand the reason why he was benched, because he didn't acknowledge that he was hurt, didn't tell the coaching staff he's hurt, but then public he said it. But then you got to swallow your pride as a head coach and say, what gives me the best opportunity to go out on Sundays and win football games?
How do you know he didn't tell him he was hurt? I think that Terrell Pryor told him he was hurt. Okay?
What we're going to do is bring this conversation back after the break. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach, Dennis Allen.